I'm about a few minutes early. Yes, perfect. I'm about a few minutes early. Sit here. I have to go run do something very, very exciting. I'll be right back. Cello, cello, cello. Okay, I got my glasses on. How's everybody? I hope you all like the new kind of setup here. I'm just gonna get the iPad together so I can see you all's comments as you come into the room. How was you all's weekend? Mine was great. I had a really great weekend, a very busy weekend. But it was beautiful nonetheless. And one last thing before I jump into all the things is my plates and bowls. So we have a couple different plating options today. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do, so I'd rather have them all. Plus, this one is very nostalgic. If anybody has ever eaten or ate at Panera Bread, this is a bowl from Panera Bread. I actually had the entire set, and when we moved, I kept one. So there was a little backstory before we get into it. So on this Meatless Monday, we are going to be making broccoli cheddar soup from scratch, as well as a Mediterranean style veggie sandwich. Figured it was a nice fall day, might as well do a soup and a sandwich type of deal. You could have both together or either or for a breakfast, or I mean not for breakfast, Lord have mercy, for a dinner or for lunch. But the backstory is I used to work at Panera Bread. And so I was one of those who absolutely adored the broccoli cheddar soup. And then I started working there and I was like, eh. And so the entire time I worked there, I just never wanted to have it because I poured it all day. So I was just like, I'm done. But on today, we're going to make broccoli cheddar soup from scratch. So, of course, we're going to wash our broccoli. And as I was going over the ingredients, I realized I didn't have carrots. It totally slipped my mind, but we're gonna pivot. I have some frozen carrots here. This is a Great Value brand, which probably was way cheaper than the fresh ones, which is crazy to think. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna pivot. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna wash our broccoli. I'm gonna try to keep you all stationary until the cooking portion, and then I'll bring you closer. So we're just gonna gently wash our broccoli. Gonna get out our knife, and I always like to start with a sharpened knife. So this is just a Chef's Choice sharpener, and I'm gonna quickly sharpen my knife between 1 and 2. Wipe off our blade so we don't have any metal shards in our food. And we're just gonna go ahead and chop it. And I chose broccoli cheddar soup today because for some, I was at church yesterday and it was just a wonderful time, and the pastor was talking about stewardship and just all the things, and it brought me back to working at Panera, and I was like, ooh, I could really go for some soup right now. And I was like, you know what, I'll save that for Meatless Monday. And I was like all in my feels. I put on my white chef coat or chef jacket, which is very like nostalgic for me, because white is what you wear as a student. And so most chefs, as they progress in their career, they usually turn away from the white coat, especially now when you can dye the coats so many different colors. You very rarely see a chef in a white coat, so I figured, why not? Why not pull her out? So we're just gonna rough chop our broccoli, and I'm kind of working backwards because we still need to chop up our onion and our garlic, which is gonna go in our pot first. It's a very easy, simple soup if you're like just starting to learn how to cook or get familiar with the kitchen. It's a one pot dish. Very kid friendly if your kid likes broccoli and cheese. I don't think I'm gonna use all of this broccoli, which is great because now I can put it in the freezer till next time. I think I'm gonna use half of this. Perfect. That is funny. We need to save some room for our carrots. Okay, we're gonna give this a deeper wash now. And I'm gonna just go ahead and put these off to the side so I can wash them and break them down to be saved for later. Not gonna do baking soda and all that jazz. It's really not necessary. And I'm not sure if you all know out there, you do not need to add baking soda and vinegar together to clean your vegetables. In fact, you're doing the opposite of what you think you're doing, because you're neutralizing the acid in the baking soda by adding the vinegar. That's why it fizzes. So please stop doing that. You're just wasting your good vinegar by adding that, because you only need either or. You don't need the baking soda and the vinegar. You can just choose one. But I digress. So now let's get to our garlic and our onion. I'm going to do the garlic first. And I love the fresh garlic instead of the jarred. It's much cheaper. It tastes a whole lot better, y'all. And it's so good. And you can actually kind of save it yourself if you're one of those people that, like, I just want to be done with it. Buy you some fresh garlic. And I thought I brought the jar. But save you a little tomato jar from, like, your tomato sauce that you probably are just throwing away. Save those jars. And put you some garlic in that with some water. And there you go. That's all the companies are doing, literally. So I'm just gonna, can you all see? Should I bring you closer? Just gonna glide the knife back and forth. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You just want it a little bit chopped up. And then if you're one of those who likes minced garlic, you can go ahead and just peel all your cloves of garlic and toss it in a blender or a food processor. Pour some olive oil in that and put that in a jar. There's your minced garlic. You don't have to buy all of the expensive things to have all of the things to say you have it. And 9 times out of 10 is much more expensive, and that saves you about $2 to buy something else. So just gonna put this off to the side. Now we're gonna do our onion. I know somebody's out there cringing over the way I just chopped this up. So what? I always take the outer ring off, just because sometimes there's dirt trapped in there. And the outer ring won't allow your onions to actually change colors. So yeah. I'm butchering this onion today. I don't know what's wrong. I think it was the shape. So I don't want any small onion pieces because this is gonna cook for some time. So I want it kind of chunky. And that's good enough for me. So now we're gonna do olive oil and butter. And today I'm gonna use real butter, even though you all know I'm not really particularly a fan of butter, but it's gonna work to our benefit today. Oh boy, are those things screaming. Then we're gonna use some olive oil. And then while that's getting all warm and stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna blanch my carrots. Which means I'm just gonna get the water super hot, very hot boil, and I'm gonna defrost them basically. And then when they defrost, I'm gonna chop them up into the pieces or shreds, and put it into the soup, since I didn't have any shredded carrots. And in fact, I may not even need all these. Yeah, I probably won't use all these either. We're just gonna wait for all of our stuff. I'm gonna bring you all closer. Yes, it's so good right now. So close your eyes. Okay. Okay, so now that the butter has melted, I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna add my onions until this kind of cools down a little bit, and then I'll add in my garlic. I don't want it to burn. And I'm gonna just put this piece of butter off to the side because I may need it later. If I don't use it in the soup for my roux, I'm going to probably use it for the sandwiches. And I'm going to use sourdough today to make the Mediterranean style sandwich. I'm going to use some sourdough bread. We have some sun-dried tomatoes, some hummus, which this one is the Cheddar's brand. And it is the sun-dried tomato basil hummus. So I thought that was like really good protein. That should go really well with the sourdough. And we're going to do some spinach, some mozzarella cheese. Let me get the mozzarella cheese out. Which should be really, really good. So I'm excited. And I'm just now remembering that in culinary school, we would have different weeks that we would have to do like different projects. And soup week was literally learning how to make soups from scratch. So learning how to make a beef stock, learning how to make a chicken stock, all of that from scratch. And so my soup was broccoli cheddar. I'll never forget that. That was the soup I ended up cooking. So, full circle moment in this jacket, which happens to be the jacket I used to wear in culinary school. Actually, no, I take that back, because, no, this is one of the ones. The other one I had the school name on it, so I was like, wait a second. So now I'm going to add my broccoli. I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick saute too. It just, to me, it just tastes so much better. Oh, we got a leaf. We got a broccoli leaf. Just want to slow down the onions and all the things. So while that's cooking, we're going to get our water together. And I like Nora's chicken bouillon. I don't really like the ones in the cartons. I feel like they just take up a lot of space. And to me, they're like, they don't have any flavor. So maybe it's the salt. I don't know. But my fave happens to be the Nora. So we're going to go in with some water. We're just going to use the bowl we already washed our broccoli in. Eyeball. Yes, it's a very neat trick, honestly. I don't mind chopping the garlic, so I'm just that type of person. Um, and plus, it tastes different. And so I'm just gonna add enough water to cover the broccoli. So just enough to cover it, not much. And I'm gonna go ahead and season it while it's coming up. And you can start high and go low. So that's the chicken bouillon. This is the Italian seasoning. Not a lot. I'm not gonna add any salt or pepper right now because you still have to add in the cream, you have to add in the flour, and so you don't want to get too salt heavy. Plus, there's salt already in the chicken bouillon. So this is onion, this is garlic. I know we already added fresh onion and garlic, so add more. That's why your food bland because you're not seasoning it. Okay. And you're just gonna give it a stir. And put a lid on it. Now our water for our carrots has boiled. We're just gonna probably put one big chunk, about half the bag. Put the rest in a Ziploc. Reuse your Ziplocs. Don't waste them. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and get my broccoli together. Flip the dirty side of the cutting board back over. And I'm going to break the florets down. You could even stave the stems, like if you wanted to make some vegetable stock, you can save the stems. They will add so much flavor to anything really. You could have cut it up and added it to the soup. It's not bad. Now I'm going to wash this. Put it in the Ziploc. So now we have broccoli for something else. The water for the carrots have come up to a boil. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain them. That's it. You just want to knock the chill off. let it cool or be a rebel and use your hands now. I'm of course gonna be a rebel. But I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna put some gloves on. You can use your food processor. You can use your blender if you want. My hands are kind of wet, so they don't want to go in. Come on, gloves. There's one. See if this one's on. My fingers are moist, so they don't want to go in. There's no powder in them. But yeah, so you can use your food processor. You can use your blender. I didn't think there was a need to pull all that stuff out. So we're just gonna chop, and it's boiling. So now that it started boiling, reduce it down to medium heat. Keep chopping. Now what I would do is go to Panera and get a bread bowl. A nice sourdough bread bowl. Oh my goodness. Those were so yummy. They're all kind of chopped up. And if you're on a budget, this was a really budget-friendly soup. I believe the most expensive thing was the cheese, which is crazy. Cheese is so expensive now. But yeah. Vegetarian option, swap out the chicken broth for veggie broth. Now you have a vegetarian soup. Can y'all hear that crunch on some frozen broth, vegetables? I told you guys you can still get bite, like that bite out of frozen vegetables. You don't have to cook them forever. Okay, now that's boiling really well. A nice vigorous boil. We're gonna add in, thinking, maybe not yet, because they're already soft. I don't want to add them in now. They'll be too soft. They're not fresh carrots, so they're not gonna take a long time to cook. Just keep chopping. I am going to give it a stir though. And we just want to stir it. You want to make sure the broccoli is tender. That you do want to do. And so while that is tenderizing, or boiling I should say, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. Put our seasonings over there. Put our butter there. We are going to prep our vegetables for our sandwich. So we have the red onion. We got some fresh spinach, which was way cheaper than getting the bag. Way cheaper. This was like 59 cents. Listen, I'm gonna do a video. When I was at the grocery store yesterday, it dawned on me. I was like, I need to do a video on like budget friendly grocery shopping that where you can still get the things that you enjoy but for cheaper. I got 10 tomatoes to make my, because I'm gonna do eggplant parmesan this week to make tomato sauce. 10 tomatoes. And it was $3. Tomato sauce was 3 for $5, which was Prego. And the rest of them were like $5 a jar. And I was like, although it does save you time, ain't nothing like your own fresh tomato sauce. And it's so easy. But I digress. But anywho, let's take our 59 cent, spinach. Gonna wash a couple pieces. Okay. And I would store this in a Ziploc bottle with a paper towel wrapped around it to catch the moisture. I'm gonna take the tie off and I'm not gonna wash it, and I'm just gonna wrap it. And that's another thing. You don't have to, I don't know why social media has everybody like washing all their vegetables, putting them in the refrigerator. You're killing your vegetables. I just want you all to know that. You're washing off the good stuff. Some of that stuff helps keep it alive. It smells so good, you guys. I'm gonna use that bowl. It off. Set it over to the side, let it dry. I'm gonna take my carrots, put it here, and get the other one. Let's stir this. So you can see they're not done yet. They're getting there, not quite though. You're really just cooking the broccoli. This smells so good. When that gets tender, then we'll add in the carrots and our cream. And now I'm only wanting half of this. And I want it thin because we're putting it on our sandwich. So about that many. We don't need a lot. And so this is a sourdough bread from Aldi's. It's frozen because we do not eat it fast enough for it to not go bad. And so the best way to store bread if you're not gonna eat it right away is to always just go ahead and pop it in the freezer. So what I'm gonna do now is this here. The cast iron has made its appearance. And so we're just gonna warm our bread up really quickly, and then we'll add our spread to it with all of the yumminess. I'm actually kind of liking this setup. Okay. And our cheese. And our tomatoes. And this is another one. So I shop at a local grocery store called Pete's. I'm not sure if anybody out there is familiar with it, but it's like kind of like a Winn-Dixie's or Piggly Wiggly. It's a small like grocery store like in the Chicago land area, and they have this as an offer. So this is sun-dried tomatoes. They have the big ones, and then they have the slivers. I was so accustomed to the brined sun-dried tomatoes that when I saw this, I was like, I'm gonna go see what's the price difference. And as it may be, this was cheaper. This is $3.38. It has a shelf life of a pretty good substance. So this was in the refrigeration aisle. It said it was packed on the 15th of November, and it's good until January 14th of 2026. Which this is good in salads. This is good in other dishes, sandwiches, a snack on its own, a charcuterie board if you're into that. But yeah. When I went to go see how much the jarred brined one was, oh my goodness, it was $7.75. And it didn't have this many tomatoes because, of course, it had mostly oil. So just a little tidbit. Sometimes it's not always the best to get the jars. So kind of shop around the outside of the grocery store is my point. And I debated whether or not to get the sliced mozzarella. I'm going to turn it off. Burn our pan. And I just decided not to. Because where the fun in that would be if somebody else has to slice it for you. Then they're going to charge me for slicing my mozzarella. And I could slice it myself. Which they probably just use piano strings. But anywho, I digress. Let's get our hummus on there. I want to taste it. Y'all, that's good. Oh my God. This hummus in a salad with some olive oil and some balsamic vinaigrette. Oh my goodness. We may have to make that next. Or save it for the summertime. Oh wow. That's going to be so creamy. So I'm going to go for the inner part of the bread. And just putting a little thin little bit. And now we're going to put cheese on one side. Giving it some space to kind of melt. I'm going to use half of this butter for right now. Let's not forget about your soup. yet. I'm just gonna do it low. So we're gonna put our spinach on there. Maybe I didn't need that much spinach. Gonna put a couple tomatoes on there. This is gonna add some sweetness. So if you never had like a sun-dried tomato, they're really sweet. Kind of tastes like a tomatoey. I gotta describe it. Like a, I don't want to say like a tomato raisin, but kind of like a tomato raisin. They're really sweet. They're like naturally sweet. I'm just gonna go ahead, put our sandwich in that hot butter, which I'm very shocked. Very, very shocked I'm using this much butter today. I don't know why I did that. That's gonna burn. That was not a good decision. Let's take that out of there. Y'all snack while y'all cook. Let's go ahead and add our carrots. And because we're not opening up any equipment, we ain't taking nothing out. Some people would puree them some broccoli up. I'm gonna use this handy dandy multi-purpose tool. It's really a meat masher. And we're just gonna smash up some pieces because we want it chunky, but we don't have to take out all that stuff. We don't want to wash all those dishes. I don't want all these like mechanical things in the kitchen. Like, it's so not necessary. So not necessary. So we're just gonna chunk it up a bit. You lose the depth and the fun and the creativity when you have like buy all of those like unnecessary pieces of machinery. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Look at that. Didn't that do just fine? That did wonderfully. Do not let the industry tell you you need this tool and that tool. You really just need these. This is the only tool you need. What was that? And I probably shouldn't be putting this in the dishwasher, but I do. What failed? Something failed. Not sure what it was. I'm going to use this piece of butter. I'm just trying to see if my mozzarella is melting. I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to flip our sandwich. See? Cast iron. Not a fancy panini press. But it works just the same. Oh, look at that, y'all. Y'all see how pretty that is? Look. It's beautiful, right? So now we're going to add the other piece of butter to the bottom. Don't burn yourself. Listen. If our grandmothers and our mothers and fathers didn't have all that stuff, we don't need it either. Like, when my microwave goes out, I don't think I'm getting another microwave. I'm just being honest. I don't see the point in it. I don't think we need it. Food tastes so much better when you heat it up on the stove. But, again, that's a story for another day. Let's go ahead and make us a slurry. So I just have a little bit of flour. And I'm going to cheat and use the hot liquid from out the pot. And my stove is on, the skillet is on like 2, 3. So in between 2 and 3, which is like medium low. And now I'm going to turn my soup down to low completely because we know that it's piping hot. We want to add our cream and our cheese, but we're going to temper our cream so it doesn't curdle. Sometimes all the flour doesn't dissolve. And so for that, I would say don't stress yourself about it. The flour is just going to allow your soup broth to be velvety. I always say that and people are like, velvety? Like, yeah, it's going to allow your soup broth to be velvety. Versus just adding in the cream. So we're going to take out those chunks when we strain it, but we want to temper our half and half. So this is just half and half. Our cheese has melted on our sandwich, so we're just going to turn that off. And we're going to add it in here. About half a cup. Not a lot. You don't need a lot. You can always add more if you do need it. Giving us a quick stir. Now you could just go ahead and pour this directly into your soup, but for those of you who know that the flour is clumpy, you're just going to slowly add the milk to the broth, or the cream rather. Here's your clumpy flour, so it's not in your soup. You're going to give it a nice stir. And you want to turn your soup off. Because you're going to add your cheese now. So I have several different kinds of cheeses. I know broccoli cheddar traditionally has just cheddar cheese in it. But I didn't want just cheddar because it's mine. I can do what I want to do, right? So I have some leftover cheddar, so I'm going to add this in before opening this other cheddar. So we're going to add that in. Give it a stir. I like me some white cheese. I like white cheese. But I'm not a really big fan of the orange cheese. So this one is the Kobe Jack. So it has shredded Kobe, Monterey Jack, which will give it a nice little bite. I'm gonna add that. And then to add in the cheddar to the cheese soup, we're gonna do a handful of mild cheddar cheese. And we're just gonna stir it all together. Oh goodness, you guys, look at this. So good. Remember, everything is off, so neither eye is on right now. You're letting the residual heat from the actual broth go ahead and just melt the cheese. And I'm gonna toss this in a sec. Put back the stuff I know. I'm gonna go ahead and plate up. Now you can plate with several different things. I could go the nostalgic route and put it in a Panera bowl. You can go the comfort route and put it in a handled bowl / cup. Whatever is your personal preference. Remember, plating does matter. People eat with their eyes first. And I do this really quickly. I didn't think about it before I put it away. So, you're gonna serve somebody. I'm gonna cut it in half. Okay, half. Put your sandwich down. So your sandwich will go something like that. Now I guess I'll go with this. And this. Okay. And put the handle out to the side. Give it another quick stir. Just make sure it's all melted. Y'all see that? Look at that spoon. Oh, it smells so delicious. I can't wait to try it. Oh, we didn't taste it. Let's taste it first before we... I just knew it was going to taste good, so I didn't taste it. Let's taste it before. See if we need to add more seasoning. Nope. Nice balanced salt. Good garlic, good onion. You can taste the Italian seasonings. Nope, not needed. Do not need. And so here's our soup up close and personal. Can you see? Okay, close your eyes. I'm gonna bring you close, all right? And let you see it. See that? Uh-oh. Can you see it? It is delicious. Now, of course, you would want to go ahead and, wipe off the sides, see a little drip spills, but nah, not today. And of course, I have to have a picture. So, let me turn my camera on. Gotta get a thumbnail shot, guys, because it's just too good to not get a picture of. I'm sorry. Can y'all see me? Oops. Okay, that's enough. Let's try it. I'm hungry. First things first, I know the soup is good. I want to try the sandwich. So, the hummus and the mozzarella have melted. Okay. Maybe not after I made it, of course. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Now, the tomatoes, they're sweet with the onion. The hummus, you can't really taste it. It's really good now. Great combination. Maybe I'll share. Let's try our soup. It's so hot. Oh my gosh, you guys, you have to try it. When you do, please, please, please post some pictures to the community page. Make sure you comment. Come back and tell me how the recipe turned out for you. This is really good. This is a very cheesy type of day. I'm sorry if you're not into cheese, but I happen to love cheese. But yeah, so enjoy. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And be kind. In a world that is so cruel, we need more kind people. Trust me, kindness goes a long, long way. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And I know for a fact I'll be back tomorrow because I really want to make eggplant parm. And I have another like green bean recipe I want to try out. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Have a good one. Bye.